You're listening to Traumedy, the podcast that helps you take your pain and play with it. I'm Nancy Norton. I'm a comedian. I'm a registered nurse. Don't work as a nurse anymore. You know why. To save lives. Yes. And I am a keynote speaker about the power of humor, why we need humor to help us through the darkest of times, and why Traumedy is here. Traumedy is here to help you remember you too can get through stuff. You're not alone. Listen to this guest. You're going to be amazed by this guest. This guest this week has been through so many different challenging times. Our guest this week is the epitome of Traumedy. She's dealing with things like finding a brain tumor and dementia in a family member. Also, this episode discusses sexual assault and calling out that person in your community and then being ostracized for it. So, serious content, but also very funny content. Wow.
Yeah, we did a lot of work on it because I had written about it. And so when he saw the piece I wrote, he was like, oh, we can take elements from here. And then I was like, I can't just tell the story like it's written. I have to add jokes for me to get through it.
And I was like, hey, Doc, appreciate you telling me what's going on. It's benign, feeling great about that. But can I get a picture of it? Do you mind giving me my scans so I can see what's going on? And he was like, sure, we'll give you a picture of it. This man gave me a CD. Y'all know what CDs are, right? You know how old we all are here. You grew up with them. I'm like, Doc, I don't know how to see this. They don't even make things to play these anymore. What do I do? Hold it up to the lights?
Finding people that have also experienced stuff that I've experienced has been the most rewarding part about being so vulnerable.
Wow, this episode really resonated with me, and I found it to be extremely empowering and validating, and I hope you do too. You can find my information at my website, nancynorton.tv. That's nancynorton.tv, like television. Go to the upcoming shows, and you'll see some links to some events. I'm trying to remember where I'm going. Dang it, Nancy, where are you going? It's June 2025 as I record this, and I will be in Waterloo, Wisconsin, and Madison, Wisconsin with Moms Unhinged, June 18th and 19th. Oh, I'm back in Branson. I'm going back to the Ozarks. I'll be performing in Branson, June 26th through the 28th at the Comedy Factory. And I'm going to go down to the lake cabin, hang out, do a little Ozark time with the family. Enjoy this episode. I'll see you on the other side. Welcome to Traumedy. My guest this week is a writer, a comedian who has a brand new special out. Please welcome Shanna Christmas. Yeah.
What up?
Joining us from Las Vegas. What you doing out in Vegas?
Well, I'm from here, but I'm never here. But I just sent some strange man I met off Hinge back to the airport today. So
wow.
just doing a little laundry and pondering about my life choices at the moment.
I didn't know. Okay, I thought you were based here in Denver. So you're...
Nope.
How did I ever get that impression?
I'm a vagabond. I've been to Denver a lot, so people think I live everywhere. It's really funny.
Oh, so. That's pretty cool. I really thought you were Denver based.
I got a text the other day from somebody in San Francisco, and I was like, nope, don't live there anymore. And he's like, oh, okay. It's just, I don't live anywhere. It's bad. I have to stop doing that. But I born and raised in Vegas, started comedy here, and I'm here right now for at least another month. And then if I get bored, I'll probably leave again. Who knows?
Wow. Well, thanks for joining me. You've just been blowing up on my reels lately. I've been seeing all your hilarious new comedy, like that new special that just came out. It's called Highly Intelligent.
Yes.
And it is where do we find it? First of all,
it's on YouTube. We're getting close to 10,000 views, guys. I really think that I'm surprised that even that happened. I had no expectations, and now I'm like, oh, are people watching this? Oh, whoa, okay. I'm not on anybody's label. I'm not none of that. I just put it out by myself. So yeah, it's on YouTube. Go watch it.
I am so impressed. It looks beautiful. You are hilarious. They're just the greatest clips. And also when I saw this one clip, I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta have her on for Traumedy because it's like I can feel the Traumedy behind it, you know? And it's one of the sometimes comics come on here and there's a bit like Zach Moss from here by any chance? But anyway, he has a bit that you would never guess has trauma behind it. It's like never, like sometimes you can't tell, but sometimes you can tell. Like I could tell you obviously had something serious that you had to deal with. And then anyway, I was thinking what we could do is play the clip and give people a little taste right up front of your comedy.
I have to listen to it.
Awkward. Is it the word? I know. I hate listening to myself too. Do you want to just take a break? Do you need to go get a drink? Go get a beverage. Go make some popcorn. I'm going to play. Okay. And anyway, is that okay? Or no, would you rather I not do that?
No, play it. Absolutely play it. I can't. I don't. Oh God. When I uploaded the clip, I was like, I'm just going to put the volume down as it loads. I don't need to hear it.
Isn't
or watch it anymore.
You know what? Before we play it, let's talk about this. Isn't it wild? Like we're on stage all the time and we love our material. Like we love it because we have, I mean, man, we have finessed it. We have gotten this, extra syllables out of sentences and, it's a labor of love. But then when I hear myself, oh my gosh, it is like hard. I don't know. What is that about?
For me, it's also too like, oh, I should have said something like this instead of that. Like it's always like a critique, even when it's fine.
That inner critic
I always think everyone thinks it's way worse than what I think it is. So I'm like, once I was done like going through the editing process, I'm like, I don't want to watch this special ever again. Actually,
that inner critic is the worst, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then I'll have a set that I think was the most magical of all time. I'm like, I was in the zone. I was feeling the flow. And then I go and watch it and I'm like, meh. And it looks sloppy. It looks sloppy. And I'm just like, oh, what are you doing? Anyway.
We're not good enough. We're never good enough.
Never good enough. That's the blessing and the curse of whatever that was from.
The trauma.
The trauma from our childhoods. Do you want to? Okay, do you want to talk about that first?
No, I'll cover all the things. I want to take my headphones off for 1 minute and 23 seconds, and then I'll come back.
Is that what this clip? Okay, I'm going to play this one. I'm going to play this one clip, and I don't think I can. I could turn it around and show it. I might try that. I might try and show it at the same time. See if it lip sync. I don't usually do Zoom, so this is fun for me. All right, let's give it a whirl. See if it's playing through the machine.
Oh God.
And I was like, hey, Doc, appreciate you telling me what's going on, but I'm feeling great about that. But can I get a picture of it? Do you mind giving me my scans so I can see what's going on? And he was like, sure, we'll give you a picture of it. This man gave me a CD. Y'all know what CDs are, right? You know how old y'all are here. You grew up with them. I'm like, Doc, I don't know how to see this. They don't even make things to play these anymore. What do? Hold it up to the lights? Do I take it to Best Buy and have the Geek Squad check it out? Maybe to a nightclub, have a DJ for my scan. It's benign. So dumb. I mean, it's so dumb. Like, the technology, why are we doing this? It's 2024. Like, why are we still doing CDs in general? That's so stupid. You can airdrop it to my phone. They're airdropping dick pics on the subway in New York, and you can't see my scans, doctor.
I got to tell you, I love this, and I love that I got to watch your face while you're watching your face. That's hilarious.
I could not. That was so. I could only hear myself too, so I can't hear anybody laughing.
Oh, you couldn't hear the laughter? I can hear the laughter.
I couldn't hear any of that, so it sounded way worse. Where it's just me and no one laughing.
Oh no, it's crushing on there. You can hear. Oh, you're like, there's no sound, and I'm like, yeah, there's sound.
No, I didn't hear any of that.
You're like panicking. You're panicking. I didn't remember that I bombed on this album.
Oh my God, that sounded way worse.
Nah, it's killer. It's killer. Watching you cover your face. I mean, that's almost more interesting than what we're going to talk about with the clip. But what is it? We just have, I don't know, so many of us have like toxic shame or something. It's a fantastic bit. And the way you go off in these hilarious, like hold it up to the light, have the DJ revolve it.
That was a lot. Wow, I was not expecting.
Take a deep breath
that way. I was not expecting to react that way at all. That's actually really funny. It's
That's interesting. But you're not alone. You're not alone. So many comedians. I know one of my friends, Stephanie McHugh, who was on here a while back, she has to listen to stuff in 1.5 time or something. It has to go almost like a chipmunk.
Oh, speed it up.
Yeah. So she just can't listen to it in real time. And I often just avoid. I hire somebody to do my reels because I get frozen. I get frozen. And so I pay somebody to do it for me, and they have to listen to my old bits over and over.
Oh my gosh. I can't wait to get money to pay somebody to do it. Because...
I don't have the money to do it. I'm in debt. I know. I've gone into debt. I really have. I've took out a HELOC, a home equity line of credit. That's how much shame I have that I'm going into debt so that I don't have to look. But I don't know, man. Social media is such a blessing and a curse.
Yeah.
But you're up to 10,000 views. Let's celebrate.
Almost. Getting there.
Yeah. Getting there.
Getting there. Let's get
so
there.
Let's
I think I'm like 8.6 or something right now.
All right, let's get Shanna up to 10,000 views because I have almost 100 listeners.
Hey, each person, take your phone out, watch at least the first 5 minutes. It counts as a view. I don't care if you watch
5 minutes. Okay, that's okay. I'm gonna do it.
The first 5 minutes. It's fine. You don't have to watch the entire thing, which is also really good. That's okay.
I want to watch the whole thing. Then I have to tell you, and I've been doing comedy. Well, I'm old. I'm old. My name's Nancy. I have been.
That's true.
That's the dead giveaway. And well, this thing covers my crepey neck and my jowls, so that's kind of nice. But I will say, I hear a lot of comedy, but I really liked it. I really got excited. I thought, ooh, because very seldom do I get like perky around comedy these days because it's Same. So I really think it's great, and I want to listen to the whole thing, and I want to know what was going on when you had that MRI it says you said I know it was benign, or do you want to even share that? Is that something you
no, it's fine. That story it's crazy because like I went into the hospital with just like neck pain and like shoulder pain. I thought I slept wrong. And then the pain didn't go away. And then one night I was taking a shower and my arms went numb. And I was like, that's weird. So I drove myself to the ER because I'm a strong, independent Black woman. And I went to the ER and they did a scan. And the doctor comes in. He's like, you have a brain tumor. And I was like, huh? Whoa. And he's like, it's benign. Don't worry about it. I'm like, okay, but is that why I'm in pain? He goes, no, I don't know why you're in pain. I'm like, so what? Like, he's like, I think it's maybe some viral infections and take some antibiotics and muscle relaxers and have a good time. I'm like, but rewind back to the brain tumor. I can't just tell my mom I got a brain tumor. Like you can't just say it all nonchalant. Like it's no big deal, guy. Like, let's explain this. Yeah. Give me the picture. Yeah.
So that's when, what is it? Like, is it something you had to have taken out, or is it just there?
He said it's a meningioma, and some of those are, I guess, pretty common. I went to see, I had to get a neurologist. They did a bunch of nerve tests, and then I had to see a neurosurgeon who was the Doogie Howser of Russia. He was like doing surgeries on people when he was 14 years old. He's like a full-on like savant. Like, wow. I went to his office and he had like all these articles on the wall about him like growing up and being really good at surgery and stuff. He had really cool socks on. And which I love.
And did he have a big?
Who works in healthcare? You're like, ooh, the socks is how you show your personality because you're always wearing scrubs.
Oh, so that's so smart.
Fun sock. People are like, oh, this person's fun. Look at those socks.
That's so smart. Sometimes they decorate their stethoscope with little, accessorize their stethoscope or something. But the socks is where you show it, and maybe the shoes,
point.
like them cool shoes, maybe, or do they have those little?
I think he might have had Simpsons on his socks or something. I was like, oh, peeping the fun times over here, Doc. And so I felt very comfortable. And he essentially was like, I looked at it. It looks like it's been there the whole time, your whole life. And it's not bothering you at all. It's not impacting your functions or anything. So I wouldn't operate on it. And I was like, can I still use it as an excuse for my bad behavior? And he was like, no, but something tells me that you will. And I was like, you are correct. he knew me so quickly.
Did he laugh with you? Did he have a sense, if he had the Simpson socks, did he have a sense of humor?
I mean, he knew that I was being funny, so he kind of played with me. So he's Russian, so I don't know if they laugh very much. That's the thing. I've never seen Russians laugh, but it's very dry and stoic, but there was funny in there.
You're right. They never show that in the movies. Anytime you see a Russian, it's extremely serious. I can't do it. I can't do it.
They're beating up Rocky. They're committing atrocities. Someone's going
Natasha. Wow. I'm getting ready to I do these keynote presentations called The Power of Humor. I studied therapeutic humor. And as a healthcare professional, we're going to go talk to all these doctors and help them use more humor as they're working with people. So I'm going to use your story about the socks, setting people at ease, just even implied humor, just showing like, hey, this, we know this is a serious situation. Clearly, you've got a brain tumor. That's serious. I mean, yours turned out not to be too serious, luckily, but that's scary stuff. Anyway, so I love that you shared that set you at ease. I'm going to share that at the meeting. I'm going to bring it up at the meeting.
Let me come do your keynotes. I work in healthcare too, and I need some other work to do outside of, because you're a nurse, I'm an OT, we work in healthcare, and I'm trying to figure out how to do some keynotes too, by the way, because they give you a lot of money.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I'm so grateful for them. In fact, this is, how I got into doing keynotes. I was working 12-hour shifts as a nurse with my 3-year-old son and just fried, you know what I mean? And I had to back off comedy so much. I was doing very few sets because I'm a single mom. And my friend, she gave me this numerology life coach reading for my birthday. And for real, this woman, I don't know, I was trying to figure out and get creative and how can I, have more time at home with my son and all this. And yeah, she just got to the place where she said, well, what do you need to make a month? And I said, well, right now I'm making $5,000 a month as a nurse. And she said, well, you can make that in 1 hour as a speaker. And I was like in disbelief, like that's not possible. And she said, yeah, and I know you can do it because I do it and you have more of this, she said charisma. And I feel embarrassed to say what she said, but that's what she said. She said, you have more charisma than I do. And so anyway, it still took me another, honestly, 10 years to bring that to fruition because I'm a slow, like my learning curve. And also just my self-esteem is super low. So it took me a long time to finally get that speaker fee. And now, I'm just so grateful. And she goes, and you'll have more time with your son or for whatever you want to do. I totally support you in doing this. And yes, you can do it. And using humor. Because they need funny keynotes. I just did a presentation for these pelvic floor physical therapists and OTs. And it's so heavy. There's so much trauma in the pelvic floor.
Yes.
So much trauma. And it was a heavy conference, and they were so ready. They want a light, funny keynote. All right, we're going to make it happen. So we just got to...
It won't take me 10 years. I've been researching, but I'm like, I don't know how to start. That's my whole problem. It's like, I want to do that, but how do I get over there?
Yes. And where is it? And
Give me my steps.
Where I started, and I'll tell you how I started, was I got a mentor, and it was just I do believe in a higher power. I know your name is Christmas. Do you?
Sure.
I don't know if you believe in I'm very spiritual. I live here in Boulder and I'm spiritual, but also, higher power put the president of the local speaker association next to me at a comedy show. Swear to God. I sat down, crazy. Tracy Brown. I was at a comedy show and I was doing the feature spot, and it was one of those Saturday night packed houses, that feature spot, such a sweet spot on the show, crushed it was just one of those, fun nights. And there was one chair left in the whole room. And I thought, well, I'm just going to sit and watch the headliner. So I sat down and this woman leaned over and said, "Hey, do you really live in Boulder?" And I said, "Yeah." And she goes, "So do I. I'm a speaker." And I said, "Oh, that's what I'm supposed to be doing." And she said, "Oh, yeah." And then she goes, "Oh, yeah, you're a $10,000 speaker." But anyway, yes. So there's local chapters of the Speaker Association. I don't know if that's helpful to you, but there's a national.
I'm on my phone looking right now.
And you're in Vegas because I think there's a lot of national conventions out there. The National Speaker Association has local chapters in every state.
Oh.
So you could look that up and then start going.
Cool.
And then
this is my sign. See?
This
See
is it. This is your sign. And I got the truth chills. Do you ever get the truth chills?
I don't know if I've ever called them that before. Is that
like goosebumps? Like when something kind of like woo woo happens, where you're like woo.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. The truth chills. I like that.
One of my guests taught me that term a couple years ago, and I've been using it.
Hell yeah, it works.
All right, we're gonna manifest some speaking gigs. You're gonna start speaking and also continue to do comedy, and this special is gonna take off. And if you start putting it out on Reels too, that's how a lot of my clients have found me, is through TikTok. I wasn't going to do just nursing stuff, but then those are the Reels that took off. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm getting guided by the algorithm. Anyway.
And that's what I'm struggling with too. It's like, I don't want to just do stuff about OT.
Yeah.
Because first off, people don't even know what OT is. And so if I'm doing jokes about OT to like an audience of people are like, what's that? You're like, first I got to explain what it is.
Yeah.
And then people are like, I still don't know what that means. You're like, all right, I'm just going to talk about dicks.
Which, by the way, you can do OT on a dick. You know what I mean?
Yes, I see them every day. They're usually on old people. So.
I see them every day. Yes, because they need a little occupational therapy down there.
They need to learn how to get dressed after they break the hip.
Yes.
We got to put those pants on.
Well, and I'm telling you, these pelvic floor physical therapists and occupational therapists, they're like, well, when we went into this, we were thinking it was going to be more, in the vagina area, but it's like men also have pelvic floor issues. Yeah.
That's right. A little dribble comes out when we're done peeing.
Not even when we've started. Just walking along.
Some male Kegels. Just do some male Kegels, guys.
Hey, this is how it goes. I get off on these tangents, and here we go. I had an MRI once too, and they sent me home. But luckily, I'm a boomer, so I had, of course, the CD equipment on my old computer. But who in the world has that? You never were able to see it.
Make computers with the CD drive in it.
Yeah.
You have to buy an external one for it. And so it took me 6 months to see the scans because I didn't have the equipment. I had to go to the neurosurgeon to see it. I saw it on his computer. I was like, is that it?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I'm like, I haven't seen this thing yet. And so I took a picture of his computer.
You had to take photos on your phone. That's hilarious.
Yes. I did not see it for 6 months. It's like a 10 millimeter. It's like a little teeny tiny thing in the back of my head.
Yeah.
It's just hanging out.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Well, I'm glad it's good. I'm glad you're good. And I'm assuming you got your shoulders. You got your shoulders or your back and neck and numbness figured out.
The muscle relaxers helped, and whatever the antibiotics was, whatever it was, it went away in a few days. But I don't know. Just finding it on accident is really terrifying. It's like I've been walking around with this thing the whole time because I went to what was he? He was a vascular specialist because he looked at it and said he thinks it's like a calcified blood vessel, like something had happened and it got like tied up and now it's like encapsulated in like some calcium.
I got you.
And it's just sitting back there. And he goes, it looks like you were born with it.
And
I tell my mom, I've had it since birth, and she goes, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's her fault.
Like somehow she gave it to me. Like, Mom.
What were you smoking?
Yeah. What did you do, Mom? You gave me
my mother smoked, but only when she was pregnant. So
yeah.
That's true. I want to hear more about your special too. I want to hear where did you record it and when? And
this is my second go at my special. I recorded one in 2023, but that was a very bad year to do anything. And I was like, I got to get a win. And it was not a win. That was stupid. That year, my dad passed away. I hadn't worked for like 6 months. I was hella depressed. And I was like, I'm going to do this special. And it was bad. And I hated it. And so I scrapped it. And so this one I did last year in October back in Vegas at this jazz bar. So it's like jazz, it's like, you know how it's like sad and kind of dark and whatever. I'm like, my vibe is kind of like that. So it was cool to do it.
Yeah, the
in a jazz
lighting,
lounge.
the lighting looks really cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I gave my director a headache. He's like, there's a pillar in the middle of the room, and there's a bar over here where they're just going to be making drinks. And also, it's dark in here. Like, we had to buy like a big floodlight and put it in the middle of the room so you could actually see me. It was crazy. But I was like, isn't it cool in here? He's like, yeah, but I can't see you. I'm like, oh, well, that's jazz, baby. Like,
Just roll with it.
yeah, it's dark. I'm dark. Figure it out, you know. So yeah, I recorded in Vegas downtown, and we did 2 shows, and I cover a lot of stuff. Like when you watch it, I talk about my dad who died from dementia. And
Oh,
talk about being
wow.
sexually assaulted. I talk about
Wow.
yeah, so
Brave,
it's a lot
vulnerable
of
stuff.
trauma, yeah, in there for sure. Yeah, it's a
And
lot.
how does that help you process those wounds? Does that help release some of that trauma for you? Do you feel any energetic shift when you do that?
Yeah, I think for me, it's more like when my dad died, I got really horny. And I thought that was the craziest response to have to death. And so I kept talking about it. And sometimes people would be like, yeah, that happened to me too. But they would never have said that if I didn't say it on stage first. And
That's
so,
your reward for being vulnerable and honest. So you help
and
them
it's,
to know, like, I'm not alone with that. So you talked about that on
mhm.
stage?
Oh yeah, it's in there. I wrote about it. It got published in Business Insider. It was crazy. I was like, I can't be the only bitch that's like, I need to have sex right now. My dad's dead. What? What does this mean?
That is wild. I had a similar thing that happened, and of course, 30 years ago, in my 30s or late 20s, actually, I had a miscarriage, and man, I went off the rails. Like, I mean, I negotiated an affair with my husband. I'm like, I don't know why, but I just need to have sex with Gary. And he's like,
Wow.
yeah. And I mean, my ex was so, like, to him, sex was just sex. So I was like, and he goes, sex is just like playing tennis, Nancy. It's not, he wasn't a romantic. Let me just say that. And I'm like, well, can I play tennis with Gary? Anyway,
Right.
I got an apartment. Anyway, but I do understand that. I
Wow.
think also maybe with the loss of a pregnancy, I think there was a part of my female, like, I don't know, what do I have to prove here? Like, I'm an old tomboy. I mean, at that time I wasn't old, but I think I was trying to prove my femininity in some weird way. I don't know, but it's also a
Yeah.
nice distraction, right? I mean, what did you hear any theories about it, or did you do any Googling?
Well, once I started talking about it, people will be like, no, I heard there's this thing called bereavement mania. And there was some like studies about people that were experiencing that kind of stuff after loss, and where, you know, you feel empty and you try to find things to kind of fill you. And for me, it was trying to get penis, obviously, but it was just like tying it to like my dad dying and being like, I want to have sex. It's like that was the weird connection for me. Cause it's like,
Yeah.
why is that happening? But somebody said that her grandma died. She had the same response. And, you know, so I think it's just that loss, and you want to feel something because
Yeah.
you feel like something's missing, and closeness and stuff is probably like the one thing that you could be able to have control over in some kind of way, I think is kind of how it makes sense in my brain.
You
Like,
know,
I
that
kept
was,
wanting to be held by a person. Like, I want somebody to hold me. I
yeah.
feel like I need to be small and compact and feel like I'm okay. And so, and I didn't get to have sex with anybody during that time, but I really wanted to.
Oh man. And you know, nowadays I'm reading and hearing from people in different, I don't know, even apps where there are people that are demisexual or asexual, and you can say, I just want to be held. And I don't know, in my day, you know, there was no way to ask, like, can we just snuggle? You really I don't know, I just felt like you kind of had to keep going forward with the encounter, even though
Yeah.
I'm not saying I didn't want to have sex, but sometimes I don't even think I knew how to ask for just closeness. I love that you shared that. Like, that's really what you wanted, was just to be held and to feel something. Because when you're so sad, that depression is like a vacuum of, you can't feel anything. So you're looking for excitement, something that'll just get you like, I'm still in here somewhere.
Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what it was. And when I talked about it, it was like, obviously some people are like, hell no. But then some people like you'll see like a couple and the girlfriend's like, that happened to you, to her, like her boyfriend. He's like, yeah, why are you shut up? Like, don't say that. But like finding people that have also experienced stuff that I've experienced has been like the most rewarding part about being so vulnerable. But even with my dad having dementia in general, like there's a whole, people are affected by that all the time. And there's different ways that it shows up in people, and it's unpredictable. Sometimes the lifespan is like 10 years from diagnosis to death. And that's a really hard way to go.
Did you
my
say
dad died within 6 months? So I was like, whew,
yeah, that is such a, and did you say people are orphaned by dementia? Is that the term you used, or was there some other thing you said that I made up, orphaned?
I don't know what I said, but orphan sounds good.
But that, it really does, because you lose your dad. You lose him to dementia. Like the dad that like was there for advice.
They're still alive too. They're not dead yet.
Right. That's what, but they're not in there the way they were, where you could go, Dad, I need advice on something. Or did your dad ever come and go? Like some days he would be lucid or was he just progressively gone?
When he was diagnosed, it was really fast, because my dad, he lives with his other family. So, and we don't talk very often. We didn't. So like we would go months without talking to each other, and that was normal. And in September, I remember he was diagnosed, and I was living in Seattle at the time. So I flew down for a comedy festival. I was here for the weekend, and I went to see him in the hospital. And he was looking at me like he was trying to put together who I was, because earlier that day they said that he told them that it was 1989, which would have put me at 8 years old. And he kept looking at me and being like, you're not Shanna.
Yeah.
And I was like, I am. But he was trying to say, you look like my daughter, but she's not a grown up.
Yeah.
So he was still it was almost like he was trying to figure out what's going on, but like he couldn't. And then, I saw him maybe like in October. It was the most rapid, I've never seen it before in my life. I had to look it up. It was like the way he was diagnosed. By the time December came, from September to December, he was bedridden. He stopped eating. He wasn't walking. It was the most progressive, aggressive dementia I've ever seen in my life. And so it was hard to be like, well, when you talked to him last, did he seem off? It's like, I don't talk to him that much. So it's hard to tell. And sometimes people are good at masking it too. My dad was a very funny person.
Yes.
And so if you are funny, sometimes you can distract somebody with humor if you forget something, or, you know what I mean?
Dude,
so
I'm doing that now. I'm not even kidding you. I see people and like, hey, good to see ya. And I'm hoping their name comes to me. And it is embarrassing, but I'm already doing that.
Oh,
I am masking it.
I don't remember what your name is. Just tell me the truth. Just say, I don't remember your name. I'm sorry. I meet a lot of people.
I know, but it's somebody that I maybe just talked to last week. I'm not kidding. So, well, that's good. I got to get my work done before, my son hopefully doesn't have to deal with that. But so that sounds like a weird kind of blessing and a curse, like the rapid decline. I was
actually glad when he wasn't here, because I was like thinking, if he was like that for the next 9 years, he's 6'4", he's a big man. And what happened was, when he got diagnosed, is that he had gone to get something to eat, and then he woke up in the middle of the night. He was walking around the house naked and trying to walk into different rooms of the house. And everybody's like, what is wrong with him? And when they took him to the hospital, they were like, this is probably an undiagnosed dementia. What are you talking about? So it was like, even the diagnosis was like, he was just fine 3 hours ago, and now you're telling us he's got dementia? What do you mean?
So, he may have masked it for quite a little bit there.
Yeah. And so once he got to the hospital, and the hospitals, sometimes they put people in restraints when they can't control them, because my dad was a night person. So he's walking around the hospital, and he's bigger than all the nurses who are Filipino, and they can't control him. And they're like, doctor, we need to do something about this giant man. He's giving us the blues. Can we strap him to a bed for a few hours? And so I went to see him again in like Thanksgiving when I was back in town, and he had him strapped to the bed. I would untie him and sit him up and try to move him around. And at that point, he didn't even know who any of us were. So sometimes he remember either me or my brother, but he would never remember all of us at once. It was very weird.
Kind of spotty. And then do you get, as a healthcare professional, you get called on to, like you said, you got there, you probably were doing range of motion and all this kind of stuff.
I think it was weird too, because I am in the healthcare profession, because the way I was treating my dad was more like a patient and not like my dad. So my approach to him wasn't like, oh, remember me, Dad? It's Shauna. I'm your daughter. I was like, Charles. I was calling him by his name because he didn't know who I was. So part of my grief too was like, did I actually grieve losing my dad, or was it just like some guy who died at my job? You know what I mean? Like it's also a weird thing in my brain about it as well. So
You just gave me an insight. Thank you for sharing that. I mean, sometimes things just click. Like my mom was with my sister the last 4 months of her life, and she had Parkinson's. She was 94. But then the last 3 or 4 days, I came to help her transition when she was ready. And I think doing that role of like documenting the Dilaudid and Ativan and the atropine and turning her, and I mean, getting into that probably was my way of dissociating a little bit into my healthcare role and not being like her daughter. When she did die, all of a sudden I felt like everything hit me really fast that I lost my mom, even though there's some mixed feelings. I got to be honest.
Right.
I have mixed feelings about my mom. I have some stuff, man. And it's like, whew,
Yeah.
I'm glad to be out from under her thumb. I got to be honest. And she was
yeah.
very controlling, and she gave me that gift. I have to make amends to my son all the time for my controlling behavior, because it's like, I learned it. But anyway, yeah. So did you have some mixed feelings, I guess, you said your dad had a second family or something like that, and you didn't see him
because like even when he died, people were like, well, were you guys close? And I was like, oh, we weren't. So does that mean I can't be sad about it? Like even that response to it was like, not really, but he was still my dad. But does that mean you guys aren't going to care anymore because he wasn't at everything I did as a child? Like, how do I grieve that if there's a level of closeness that's required for me to be sad about this person? Like, we weren't close. He left when I was 8. There was a long period of time where we didn't talk to each other at all because he was annoying. And I was like, I get that shit from you. And let me get away from you so I can fix myself, because you are annoying and so am I. And I don't like it.
Yeah. Well, also, don't you think when a parent dies, that like absolute fact that you are never going to, there's some part of our brain that thinks maybe I could get these needs met with this person at some point. I don't know. I had a lot of fantasy that, even though intellectually I knew, but my inner child still longed for those, to heal some of that from my childhood. And then when they're dead, it's like, absolutely not going to happen. And then you have to go back and grieve some of the stuff that we put off grieving. I don't know. That's my experience. I'm in a recovery program for adult children. And one of the things we do is like we say is a lot of our issues are because we didn't grieve. That we're still, or I get attracted to similar people that I'm still trying to heal that relationship through current relationships. Anyway, I think that matter of fact, like absolutely never going to have that experience with your dad or whatever. I don't know. Maybe I'm projecting.
No, you're not. I think that's a common thing. I think for me, since I do tend to work around older people, like my job is everybody's about to be dead anyway. So I learned to accept a lot about my dad before he died. Like, once I realized my dad was just a person and he only had the tools that he had, which weren't a lot, and he went through a lot of stuff himself. He went to Vietnam 2 times, and he came back, to America where they hate Black people in the 70s, 60s, and 70s. And like, you come back to the States and then they throw a baby at you. You're like, oh no, I gotta get out of here. What do you mean be a parent? Oh no, you know what I mean? So once I realized my dad wasn't going to be able to do dad stuff, I was actually better with our relationship, because I wasn't expecting him to have this big grand moment of, I've always loved you. I knew he wasn't going to be able to do that. He didn't have the tools to do that. And so I was mostly mourning our friendship we were starting to have, because once I realized what was up, I wasn't expecting it. So I would just go and see him and we would hang out and just kind of talk about stupid stuff. And that was like, he was becoming my friend towards the end. And then I didn't get to have that part of a relationship with my dad as I got older, because he was gone. But
just as you were accepting him for who he was, you lost him. You got robbed of having that adult relationship.
That's the sad part for me. It's not like my sister. She's a middle child. She was very much like, Dad never said he loved us. I'm like, I know he's not going to. You just gotta. He's not. He hasn't yet. There's not going to be a button that turns on as he gets older. They're more stubborn. You're not changing them, unless you actively go over there every Saturday and make him hug you and make him talk to you. Because that's what I used to do when I used to live here. It's like, Dad's not a hugger, but when I see him, I want to make him hug me. And so now when he sees me, he hugs me because I've trained him. But if that's what you want out of him, you got to put the work in. He's not going to suddenly start hugging because you want him to. You have to
ask for ask for your needs to be met. And also with my mom, it was interesting. Like both my parents, I had to say I love you first. And then, but then over the years, it became a thing where every time I talked to my mom, we would say I love you at the end of the phone call. I got to be honest, felt kind of weird in my stomach. I love you. I know. It's like, but still. Back to Traumedy. When you said you talked about your sexual assault, I haven't talked to any other comedians. I have a bit about a sexual assault, and it's very rare for me to hear somebody else say something about it. So you have a bit in there that you are.
It's my closer.
Wow. Okay, we're not going to do any spoilers if you want to hear the closer, but wow, I am impressed. And this is the kind of stuff I want to talk about on Traumedy, because there's nothing I don't think off limits about myself that I can talk about. Like we should be able to say whatever we need to say. And if you can get an audience to laugh about something so serious as a sexual assault, that tip of the Traumedy hat to you, my lady, you know?
Yeah, that was hard. And I'm actually really proud that I did do it, because I was actually playing around with the bit a little bit, and I would stick it in the middle of my set so people would forget about it. And then when I got with my director, he was like, "Oh, that's got to go last." I said, "Excuse me?"
Wow.
No. And he's like, "No, this is what makes your special, right? You're not just telling jokes. You're doing something different. And you get to tell your story as well." Because I was sexually assaulted 2 years into my career, and people know about it. I've written about it, but it's still very much like, I get triggered often with a lot of stuff that happens even now, people making Diddy jokes. And I'm like, you guys are idiots. You know what I mean? Like, it's always tied into what I do now too, because I'm a comedian. He was a comedian. So it's not like I can separate those two things. I'm kind of just tied into it all the time. And so being able to tell it on stage and kind of get it out there, and now I don't have to talk about it anymore. People watch the special, they can just see it, and I don't have to keep trying to explain myself to people who don't care anyway,
Wow. That's got to be empowering that you've done it, and that you took it you had to take it to another level to use it as your closer. Wow.
Yeah, we did a lot of work on it because I had written about it. And so when he saw the piece I wrote, he was like, "Oh, we can take elements from here." And then I was like, I can't just tell the story like it's written. I have to add jokes for me to get through it. So then we were trying to piece together, okay, after this section, then you can say this. And after this section, you can say that. And so then I was like, now it's easier for me to get through the harder parts if I throw in a little here and there, So it ended up being really good.
Wow. I can't wait to listen to that. I think it'll be healing for me, and I bet it's healing for other people. I know, mine I always put in as almost like a little throwaway, and people I don't think they really think it's true because I cartoon it so much, and it's so cartooned. But I will say, speaking, I did a keynote presentation for sexual assault nurse examiners. And so it was a very heavy, oh my gosh, this conference was so heavy. And there were detectives there and just talking about how to gather evidence. And of course, they're doing exams on children who've been sexually, really, it's just the worst of the worst. And and anyone at any age, it's terrible. And so I just had recently filed a report with the police where I lived when I was 15, or not where I lived, but where I was when I was sexually assaulted at 15. Anyway, it was an empowering situation just to share that because it's not something I'm going to work into most of my keynote presentations, but this group, I thought, you know what? I need to share. And I shared the bit about it first. They laughed because I was worried they weren't even going to laugh because they would know, but they did. And I said, thank you for laughing at that because it helps me. And I was able to come tell them. And even in the middle of it, I said, listen, I'm editing myself. I'm not going to use this person's name. And they're like, say it. And I said his name, and they cheered. And it was like, woo, I cried. I ended up crying during my keynote. I'm like, okay. And then I had to take.
Wonderful, though.
It was. And I had to take a drink of my I call this my emergency.
Good for you, man. Even when I came forward about who assaulted me, like, people are like, name names. And when I name names, people are like, oh. And it's like, well, now what are you guys going to do?
Yeah, they didn't want to hear that name. Yeah.
Yeah, they abandoned me. Most of them were just like, well, I don't know. It's like, well, now he's in jail. Do you have any thoughts about that? No? Cool. So like even when you do the right thing as what they want victims to do, they still don't care. And I think that was the hardest lesson that I learned. It was like
That is
when you
tough.
do everything you're supposed to do, the people in your corner will still abandon you and act like you're wrong for making them have to face what they did or didn't do at the time. I'm a
That
reminder of that for those people.
I know. I have a sister who's not talking to me right now. I mean, we text, and I mean, she
Mm-hmm.
will talk to me when I've gone to visit her, but she's not going to pick up a phone because a couple of years ago I had to relay to her what happened when I went to visit her at college, and she takes too much responsibility for it. I'm like, you weren't responsible. I mean, she's 5 years older, but she was only 20. I'm like, my son's
Yeah.
20 right now. I know what 20 is. You're not,
Yeah.
But anyway, it's just makes her uncomfortable. I think she just doesn't, and I don't know. It's unfortunate. Like my first, very, very, very first guest was attacked by a serial killer and lost a lot of her friends. Because I think they can't deal with the fact that this random act of violence could happen. They tried to like, what did you do? The whole victim blaming thing, and man, and you had to go through that, I'm sure. Gosh. But did that guy go to jail because of your case that you were able to prosecute, or was it another case?
No, it was me. When after it happened, I actually got him to confess to everything he did in text messages because I didn't go straight to the police. I went to work and just pretended it didn't happen. But I did screenshots of it and I kept it for 2 years. And then when I went to the police, I was like, here are screenshots of him admitting everything and apologizing. The detective tracked him down and found out he was using a stage name. And he already had a history of like violence against women. He had been arrested before for domestic violence and stuff like that. And when they contacted him, the detective says, is this you in these text messages? And he goes, yes, like an idiot. Because I was like, that's Photoshop. But, he could have denied it, but he didn't. So when they were like, well, you're admitting to what she's saying in the text messages and you're not saying it's not you. So yeah, you got to go to jail. And so
Good.
the only reason why he stayed in jail for 3 months is because he didn't have any money to get out on bail. It wasn't because he went to trial or anything like that. It was just the good old legal system.
Yeah,
If you're poor, you have to stay. And I was like, good thing he's poor.
yeah, sometimes it works sometimes it works
poor.
correctly,
Yeah.
I get that it's unfair, but sometimes it's the right thing, and I do trust his experience that hopefully he, man, I don't know this guy. I don't know if he's pathological, that he some people can't grow.
No, and that's the thing too. Like I heard stories about, he was in jail and he was scared for his life because people were trying to beat him up. And so he took a plea deal so he didn't have to go to trial and all this stuff. But now he's still running around Las Vegas telling people that I'm lying. And I'm like, well, if I'm lying, I was threatened with a lawsuit for defamation many years ago, and I'm still waiting for you to do so. So if you have a strong case, I would love for the lawsuit to happen, but you're broke, so that won't happen.
And you did it. And you did it.
Exactly.
And you confessed to it. And
Yeah.
It is well documented now, sir.
Yeah. And so he's still able to manipulate people enough here to where he gets to keep telling people that it was like a mix up or I made it up. And since I haven't been in Vegas for almost 10 years, he gets to tell this story and I'm like some mythical person that they can just kind of discard. But now that I'm back, people are like, oh, I heard about you. I'm like, yeah, it's me. I'm the person.
These sociopaths are very good at getting people in their corner. It's just, it's very upsetting when you're the one that, it's just the perfect irony of life that you're the one that gets vilified. And
yes,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, and we got into a screaming match one time at an open mic. He showed up at the mic and he's like, he comes up to me and he goes, it's been a long time, but I forgive you. And I was like, you bitch, what are you talking about? You forgive me. And so I got on the microphone at the open mic and was like, this guy's a rapist. He went to jail. Yes, it's me. You've heard about it. It was me. He's rapist, da, 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 da. And then even in the act of that happening, like somebody that I knew before all these people had come to town, because now Vegas is a transient city. So there's a lot of new people who don't know me or him. So it's easy for them to be manipulated by him because they're like, I don't know who this girl is and I don't care. But somebody who I was with at that mic, he knew both of us. And while me and this man are screaming at each other, he's just sitting there. I'm like, here's your chance to be like, hey man, leave her alone. and he didn't do it. So even still, when you get the opportunity to confront somebody who's bad, you sit there quietly, and you're a man. That's the other thing. It's like, well, they expect the victims to do all the hard work. And it's like, you can't even tell this man to leave me alone.
You would think, I'm telling you, I mean, you would think he would know, just like if you're in a place and he walks into a place, I mean, you could have gotten, I think, a permanent protective order. And
they don't care. And we got a restraining order. He was on probation for like 2 years. And during probation, I was told that he had some girl at a comedy club, or he met her at a comedy club and then put her in an Uber. She was drunk. So he took her home in the Uber. And then when she woke up, he was on top of her. This was on probation. Okay.
Yeah. This is someone who's not interested in changing, growing, or in any way. Wow. He's pathological. He is pathological.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad. I'm proud of you for warning other people about him. I have. I'm not going to be asked back to a couple of different venues because I call out sociopaths. I have this gut thing, and I can't tell you why. I get concerned for the women in this bar, and I have. And I will say I've been liberated by a bit of alcohol and a Vyvanse, which is an ADHD medication, which I've learned maybe I shouldn't combine. But but for real though, there's something in that medication that I call it a shame and doubt blocker. You know what? It's maybe not good for my career, but that person right there is a sociopath, and I have called him out. I mean, professionally, it's unacceptable, but personally, spiritually, morally, I'm okay with it.
Yeah, you become the bad guy because if you're allowed to say what you're saying and they have to take it seriously, then everybody else has to be like, oh, this person can't be here. We have to take steps so this person can't be here. But instead they go, stop saying that. I've been
wondering if they have him back. This guy, it was the day that President Trump got supposedly shot in the ear.
Oh God.
And he said, and this guy goes, and it was just, it's a long story, but he goes like, President Trump was shot. Speaking of sociopaths, I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah.
We don't want to make a martyr out of this guy, but I'm just saying there was a sense of like freedom for a second. And then he goes, like, he's just, no, he's fine. And he goes, he's fine. I don't care. I don't care if, only thing I care about, I'm a white man in America. All I care about is that abortions are legal, so I don't have to wear a condom anymore. And I don't know. It's a longer story, but there were just 3 or 4 other things that happened that just gave me this horrible, like, you are a nasty man, and people need to know. So
immediately,
yeah. There was just a couple.
I don't mind getting banned or blocked from places. I know for a fact in Vegas there are some people when they see me coming, they're like, shit, and it's like, well, but that's the thing too. Like, if you are talented, which you are, it's like people are taking the sides. Even though they say I'm being neutral, you are taking the side of this person. There's no neutral. No. He did it, and he said he did it. So if you're still acting like weird around me instead of being like, get this dude away from us, then it's not, you've picked your side.
That's right.
If I show up and you're like, oh dang, I was just hanging out with this dude, but I didn't talk to him. He was just there. It's like, but you said hi to him? Yeah. Oh, so why are you speaking to him? That's weird. Because I would never speak to somebody like that.
I know. It's disgusting.
I'm not nice to people like that.
It's disgusting.
You know what I mean?
Yep. And I did learn this when I went through this breakup with a sociopath. I went to the Safe House here in Boulder for a year of meetings, and one of their phrases was neutrality always favors the abuser. Always.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm just really proud of you. That's amazing that you're that strong, that you're just, holding your head high. And I love that you named your special highly intelligent. How did you come to this? Is there a bit about that, I suppose?
Yes. You ever watch like a movie and like the main character says the title of the movie in the movie, and you're like, hey.
I'm not sure I've noticed it. Is that a pattern I should be watching for that?
I don't know. I just get excited when it does happen. It doesn't normally happen, but if it does, I'm like, ooh, they threw it in there.
And then they made it the title.
Yeah. So that's what happened when it ties into the sexual assault piece. So it's at the end. and it was a part of the joke that I had. And so that's my director was like, we got to change the name of your special to Highly Intelligent because it was going to be something else. And I was like, okay, whatever. And he's like, you're tall also, so it's like a double entendre. Right? I'm 6'3".
I love it.
And
Yeah.
I have a nice big chunk of like tall jokes in the beginning of the special, and then I end on this assault joke. And it's like, well, I am highly intelligent. I'm a smart, kind of clever, interesting Black lady comedian, you know. So he was like, yeah, it ties into the entire special, so we're gonna call it that. And it's just 2 words, and it's easy, and it's not like, you know. So,
I
yeah.
love it. As a female in this culture, to say something super positive about yourself is amazing. We need more of that. We need more of that. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'm glad to get to know you a little more. And is there anything you wanted to
share? We're both troublemakers. I didn't realize you're out here calling people out. I'm like, I love that shit. We should just start a crew of people that show up to places and go, boo this man. Boo.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
I would love to get a little gang of badass women that are like, we're not tolerating it, and we're going to make you guys feel bad for letting people like this come in here and put your audience members at risk. So boo you guys and boo this man. And
yes.
I don't care if you don't book me. I'm a keynote speaker.
You're speaking it into
broke.
That's
it.
it.
Broke bitch. I don't need to come to your damn bar show.
And
it's for fun.
Who would I be if I could really speak my truth and I didn't care what that club owner thought? Stop.
Yep, burn it all down.
Like
yep.
you know, like I love that you got it out of that couched position and put it at the end. This powerful statement. But so you're already there. You're already speaking your truth.
Yeah, it was really hard, but people were at the show like crying. Like you could, when you watch it, like once I start talking, you can tell like the whole room kind of goes like, you can almost feel the tension on the video. I didn't realize it would translate the way it did because in the room I could sense that I had people like right here while I was talking, and it was just, you could feel how the energy was like very much closed in. And so then you feel like when people would laugh, it'd be like this, thank God.
Huge release.
Back in again.
Yeah, and that's that traumedy thing. That's that therapeutic humor that I studied. That's like, we need that. We need that release. I can't wait to see the whole thing because these clips are amazing. How do people find you on the Instas? I know, is it your name? I Googled it and found you. But what is
Shanna Christmas, SHANNA Christmas. It's on everything. I'm the only Shanna Christmas doing comedy, apparently. No one, it's not Shanna Christmas _1. It's not the real Shanna Christmas. It ain't none of that. It's just me I got the name on all the domains. It's just me.
And that's YouTube. That's on YouTube everywhere. We can just find it.
Yep.
Oh, everybody, go find Shanna Christmas on YouTube.
Highly Intelligent. Just type in those 4 words and it'll pop up. So
can't wait to see it. Thank you so much, Shanna. I'm glad to get to know you better, and let me know. Let's stay in touch.
Yes, thank you so much. This is actually really therapeutic for me. So this has been cool.
Well, I'm sending you a big hug, and thank you for your vulnerable truth. I mean, that's such a gift to our listeners and to me to be vulnerable and honest. And thank you for sharing that.
Thanks.
Well, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks, Shanna.
All right. Bye.
Okay. I want to thank my guest, Shanna Christmas, SHANNA Christmas. Everybody knows how to spell Christmas. Find her special, Highly Intelligent. It's on YouTube. Find her reels on the Instagram. Find her website. And hire Shanna Christmas to do some comedy and or keynote speaking. She's getting into speaking. And we know in healthcare, we need all the laughs we can get. Okay. Now, I want to thank my son, Nathaniel Norton, for putting together the music loop for Traumedy. As always, I want to thank you, the listener, for being on this co-healing journey.